Muses, and welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot. Today we have another just illumination into questions you've got right now. So this used to be a weekly Friday series that was yes, no questions, and I'm changing it. I've kind of been evolving it to be a little bit more about bringing insight and illumination to questions rather than really making something definitive. It just felt a little too caged to me to try and find yeses and nos. I just enjoy a little bit more of like getting insight into something that's going on. And I think it allows us to ask more interesting questions as well. Like, you know, things like what's going on with this thing in my life, or, just a little bit more open-ended, a little bit more depth to questions. That being said, I still like for us to phrase our questions kind of going in a positive way, just to make things more clear, kind of similar to how I instructed with the yes-nos. To ask your question in a way that if I were getting really positive influences, those positive insights wouldn't be feeding into a question that was framed negatively. So say you are in a relationship and you're still very much so in love with this person, but they seem detached or aloof suddenly. If you're really hoping that there's just something that's distracting them that doesn't have to do with the health of the relationship, you still want this relationship to continue and find balance again, ask the question, like, instead of saying, is this person over me? That's sort of a negative phrasing of what you're hoping to hear something about. So if I were to get positive energy, that would be saying positive things about, yes, it's over, or they're over you. So I'd phrase it in terms of like, what's going on with this person, or is there a way to reestablish balance in this relationship? That, you know, just kind of tweak it so that it feels more positive. If I'm getting a positive read, that's feeding into positive things that you would hope for. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, let's look at our 4 piles here. We've got pile 1, and these are all agate slices that I just got down in Bryce Canyon this past weekend. So this is a dark purple. It looks a little bit black, but if I can kind of, you can see some purple edging there. So dark purple for pile 1. Pile 2 has some sort of creamy, orangey, yellowy colors in it. Oh, that almost looks like a brain, doesn't it? So that's pile 2. Pile 3, we've got like a magenta, bright pink color there. And then pile 4 is sort of like an electric blue type color. Okay, so for those of you that like the breath work that I do to help you tap into your higher self, your intuition, as well as opening up to inspiration, we'll do that now. Otherwise, you can head down to the timestamps and jump to your pile directly. So place your feet firmly on the ground. Take a deep breath in and settle into sort of embodiment, wading into that groundedness, a feeling of security, calm. Now exhale that and inhale again, but suck this oxygen up, up, up this time into the space between your brows. Hold it there, suck in a little bit more to add pressure. And then out loud, exhale, opening your crown chakra. And now you can gaze over the 4 piles and ask which one has your aligned message, or messages if you have multiple questions. And I will see you guys in your readings. Hello, Pile One. Welcome to your reading all about illumination into a question you have right now. So you guys picked this deep purple agate slice. And before we jump into the cards, just something I was feeling, it was actually a pretty specific and intricate message, which is, yeah, a little more intense than what I usually get. Was like, I just kept getting this visual of like someone winding through some sort of labyrinth. And so the sense I have with that is like, there's something I think you've been trying to find the center of around that pertains to your question or your general energy right now, that you feel like you are like a little bit lost. You're trying to find the right avenues back into sort of your centering, your own passion, your own kind of knowing. But at the same time, a message came that was like, don't worry, you're coming to the end of this, and like you will find your North Star very soon and you will know what to do. So whether that relates for you more to your general energy right now or to this question, that's up to you what resonates there. But that was just something that was coming through from your stone's energy as I was tapping into this pile and shuffling and drawing cards. Okay, so we are going to start with this top row, which is kind of like, it's a new tarot deck I have, but it's a little non-traditional. It has the major arcana, it has some oracle cards, and it has the zodiac signs. So it's a little bit different than a typical tarot deck. So we'll see what we get here, just to get kind of a read on if things are kind of feeling positive versus negative, where things are generally going here. We've got some reversals to deal with, and then one upright. Yeah, this is saying, this absolutely makes sense. It's like you're trying to, I honestly think you're trying to find your purpose. You're trying to find the purpose of something, or your purpose, or connect to purpose in something, and you're down in your depths in this like labyrinth, a little bit lost, trying to like reconnect with your soul, the center of your soul, your hidden treasures, what's deeply in you, what you deeply want the most for you outside of any sort of external influences, societal influences, culture, family, friends, whatever it is. It's like you're trying to find the center of your soul and hoping to find some kind of purpose here. And this is saying like you're on the right track, like stay with it, keep connected to your heart. It is leading you correctly, and you will find that center. Like it is coming if you can stay connected to your heart, and if you can stay strong and brave and courageous down sort of in the depths of things, and really trying to find your truth, find your hidden treasures within. And something about that really evoking kind of some kind of sovereignty, some kind of purpose, some kind of skillfulness. Yeah, something there about that. Okay, let's look at your astrology cards. Symbiosis. So look for, there's like positive, well, let's turn these all over. Pallas, Athena, Venus. Yeah, I mean, this is a really positive read. It's like, trust your wisdom, connect to, as you're kind of winding through, trying to find your way down in your depths, connect to what feels beautiful, connect to a sense of pleasure and a sense of like, and again, Venus coming under strength, it's like, Yes, stay connected to your heart and courage, but also stay connected to what makes you feel pleasure at the same time. So it's like a combined thing of heart and pleasure. There's something about that that helps you stay on the right track, and you really need to trust your wisdom. It knows more than you think it does, and it is going to help you to find your North Star, or the compass you're needing to find the center here. And there's a lot of helpful information, associations, little messages, little invisible helping guiding hands kind of pushing things in the right way. Things are outside of what you can see or control. Things are trying to corral you to the right place, trying to help you stay the course, stay positive, look at the right things, look at the right openings. You know, there are some really magic, subtle energies that are helping you here, but more than that, it's like you need to trust your inner knowing. You need to trust your heart, and you need to connect to what feels beautiful and pleasurable at the same time. Okay, let's look at some oracle cards. Yoni, I don't like these in reverse, so they don't make sense to me in reverse. Yeah, again, pleasure. What brings you pleasure? You need to also open up to being a little bit more receptive. So again, like it's interesting that I was picking up from this trine sextile symbiosis that like things are trying to push you, and subtly, like subtle forces are there trying to help you find, like put the right openings, the right information, the right connections in front of you. And so this is just like confirmation that you need to be more aware in your receptivity, in not trying to make things happen, but letting things come to you and following then what presents itself, because the right things are going to be presenting themselves here. And it's like, stay open, stay receptive, stay aware to really beautiful, intuitive, just soft, subtle hints and gestures and messages and nudges. Stay open to those, stay receptive to them, and follow them as they feel right in your heart and as they feel pleasurable to you. Okay, let's look at a couple of these cards. Soulmate and come to the edge. That's where I think you're on the edge of something, and soulmate. And it's like trust being at your edge. When we're at our edge, we're really evolving something on our path. So there's something evolving here, and dare to be at your edge. And I like it coming on top of courage. It's like, and on top of Venus, it's like find pleasure in being at your edge. There's something there, sometimes paradoxically, when we don't quite know the heart of something yet, the core of something yet, or haven't found that thing yet, there is this like liminal space that can be, if we don't give into impatience and like needing to know everything right now, if you can kind of just like lean into being in this liminal time and find the perspective that you're like evolving right now, there's some dance to be felt in that. There's possibility in that, and there's pleasure in that. It's like that's something you need to connect to right now, is the possibility in the unknown. And then soulmates is just, it's like if you can stay definitely like with your heart, trust your inner knowings, you're going to find your core, you're going to find your hidden depths and some sort of purpose within that. And that's going to lead to some kind of soul opening. And for those of you that it makes sense, that this has something to do with soulmates, whether it's like someone already present in your life or something you're looking for. I think this is just like really opening up to that kind of thing. Ooh, and so subtly, I'm glad I kind of looked at this again. There is that subtle watching over, guiding influence, or something gently helping to nudge you to the right places. So like staying receptive and being aware of that. If your question or where this insight has gone doesn't make sense to pertain to some sort of soul mate type thing, I think this is like finding the depth of your soul, really connecting in that like bonded way with your soul and really knowing your soul. I think you're going to get your North Star of how to connect to your soul, how to know it, and then how to use it as a North Star for you. Okay, last off, we're going to pull some tea leaf. So basket, recognition, reward for merit. Yeah, it's like stay the course, stay strong, stay receptive, stay aware, trust yourself, trust what feels beautiful. And then in July, something here is kind of resolving, something's getting into the core, the purpose, the soul of things. You'll understand what that edge is that you're dancing on. Yeah, I think July, and I just love the image on this July card. It's like things are bright, they're flowing, things feel right. And I think this is when this like harvest comes in. Yeah, beautiful. All right, this is where I'm going to leave you, pile one. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. I always appreciate little comments if there's kind things you have to say. I have definitely decided this is like, I consider my channel like my house. And when people leave negative comments, even if they try to be helpful, it's not a constructive thing. And a little tip in like behavioral psychology is if you encourage from people what you do like, they'll do more of that. And if you kind of dwell on negativity or criticism, it's not constructive. And so I just appreciate kind messages and things that you want more of. That trains me to do what you like. And this being considered like my house, I don't want negativity here, so I will delete negative comments. I don't need it. So just something new I've kind of been thinking about. So yeah, comments, keep them positive. If you don't like the reading, just move on, All right. That is where I'm going to leave you guys. And I hope this insight has been helpful for you. And I will see you in more readings in the future. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to Insight into Your Question. You guys chose this sort of beautiful, neutral, yellowy orange agate slice. And before I jump into the cards, just an intuitive hit I got as I focused on your group, your stone, and as I was shuffling and drawing cards, was like you are about to come into a much more positive mindset. I think there's something that's been frustrating you, or generally there's just been a period where you've felt sort of negative, but like something is brightening up. Where I am, spring is coming out, so our days and the sunlight is staying up longer, and that light is becoming a little bit more direct little by little, so that if you're watching this close to when I post it, maybe that's something, maybe there's like that seasonal element if you're in the northern hemisphere where just like more hours of daylight is really positively affecting you. But it doesn't have to be that, and you may be coming at a totally different time. And there's just something where I'm feeling, whether it's this doesn't necessarily have to do with your question, it could, but it also may be your general energy right now. Okay, to start, we're going to look at this top row of tarot cards, and this is from a new deck that I'm loving by Willcox, and it's a little untraditional. It's got the major arcana, it has some oracle cards, and it has the zodiac sign. So it's a little different than a typical tarot deck, but it does have major arcana. But we'll see what comes out here to get kind of the read if things are feeling, you know, positive or challenging around your question. Okay, interesting. And Lovers. Yeah, it does feel seasonal to me for a lot of you. You know, the High Priestess in a lot of ways in this, well, it's interesting. I tend to think of the High Priestess often as like connected to Cancerian energy, but it's interesting on this card. It's got the sea goats, which is Capricornian. And that's interesting because I do feel like Capricorn has this ability with vision. So it's like a new way that I'm looking at the High Priestess. Yeah, interestingly. And so, you know, in Capricorn energy is sort of a depressive energy at the same time as being able to give us some vision. And so I'm just wondering if like coming out of winter mode, but within that winter mode, within somewhat of a depression, like the vision, you know, it's a phase when we detach from life in order to see the big picture, to see how things are evolving. And I think that whatever sort of like transition you're going through right now, whether that's an internal season or literal season for you, it's like you're moving from this winter phase of a little bit of depression, but also kind of seeing the big picture of things and where the edge of something that's evolving for you is, and it's really putting you into something about that in this particular phase you've been going through has hit you incredibly deep. And in a really profound way of like truly going through a transformation. So we can all go through winter phases or winter seasons literally and have little changes, and sometimes it brings big changes. And this one feels big to me, like you're really on the cusp of like evolving yourself with a whole metamorphosis of like coming out the other side as a butterfly, which leads me to the Lovers here, which to me has some sort of, you know, in a roundabout way has some butterfly energy associated with it. And I definitely see the Lovers as this ability to harmonize within ourselves and connect to our higher selves because of that, and allowing, just more positivity to flow because we've really harmonized tensions within us. And sometimes that can result in finding like higher love out in the world, but it's mostly about finding that love within, of being able to harmonize inner tensions we've had. And I feel like something about a metamorphosis you've been going through as you've been detached and maybe a little depressed is like you are going to be coming out the other side of having a much deeper and more evolved understanding of how to work out some tensions you're holding within yourself, and how to through that feel much more beauty within you, much more beauty in the world in general, and potentially some beauty in new like love coming in, and if you're already with someone, just like a new quality of love sort of reviving there. So yeah, it feels beautiful. I think you're still in this mode of kind of like down in the trenches of being a little detached and a little depressed, but like really puzzling out this edge you're at, that you're evolving, where you're evolving and transforming. But very soon, yeah, it's like you're going to rebirth here in a much more, just what I was feeling with this stone, in a much lighter and a much more positive energy that you'll be feeling around you and around this question. Okay, let's look at the astrology here. Pluto rebirth. So death and Pluto to me are very aligned. So it's just confirming that a major transformation is happening. 11th house, so there may be something to do with groups or friendships or the industry you're in here. If this feels more about love to you, maybe there's a new way of seeing how to be friends with people you love, or a person you love, or you may be meeting someone through friends upcoming or through the industry you're in. And then 6th house, sustainability. And I love on this particular card is like these chakras are really like in their state of being gems and very aligned. And then this wheel around her is like things are turning. There's like a productivity coming in. And then 44 is, yeah, just stability, sustainability, rhythm, purpose. Yeah, just something newly coming into just like flow and rhythm here. Yeah, flow and rhythm is what I'm feeling. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. Void. Yeah, that's where I feel like you're in this moment of rebirth, death, transformation, but there is, I do think there is with this high priestess, there's some vision you've been plugging into, but it's a vision, it's not real yet. So there is like in that void space is where there's a lot of possibility. Yeah, so very interesting. When this is going up, this reading will be right on the tail end of having had an eclipse. So there may be, in the past day or two, if you watch this as it comes up, in the past day or two or in the coming couple of days, there may be this real big transition where you move from kind of this darkness towards the light, where that rebirth really kind of snaps in here. Okay, and then we've got observer and higher power, high priestess, higher power. But even beyond high priestess, because that I connect more with our higher knowing, but there's a higher power watching you too. So that's why this feels bigger to me than just like a normal, whether it's your own personal inner season or literal season you're going through, like a little bigger than this, just a change of season. It's like something really big is shifting, and it's because this change of literal or metaphoric season is happening when I'm doing this reading. So it extends to you whenever you see this at eclipse timing. And there is like this liminal space here, which allows kind of, like higher powers to be involved. So something's watching you, something's protecting you, something is helping you through this transformation and death and rebirth process. So trust that you're being protected a little and held here. That's just like a beautiful message, side message coming through. Okay, tea leaves, good news coming, and I think and then eagle, triumph over troubles and obstacles. Yeah, so hang in there. I think dawn of a new day is about to arrive for you guys. That's gorgeous. All right, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. It helps me to know what you are liking. And certainly little comments that are kind, I always appreciate too. And something I'm sort of updating because it's a new thing I've been thinking about and going to start implementing or already have is, I would say 99% of you leave kind messages, but every once in a while you get sort of a negative message. And I've just decided that's like not, I consider my YouTube channel like my house, and you all are guests here, and I just want positive energy for me, and I want positive energy for you guys when you come. So I delete negative messages. I don't find them constructive. I think they bring down things for everybody. And just, I'm just saying this once at the end of each of these readings, because this is the point in my time where I've decided to do this. So I probably won't repeat it again, but just updating those of you who are regulars, which I know you guys don't do that, but hopefully this vibration spreads through my channel in general, is just like, a little thing from behavioral psychology is if you want to train, a person or an animal to do more of what you like, you reinforce the positive things. So saying, I loved this reading, or thumbs up on readings you really loved, that is the constructive way to train things and people to do more of that. When you do a critique, especially when there's nothing constructive, just saying this, I didn't like this, it's not constructive, and it doesn't help move anything anywhere other than creating like a negative vibe in the environment. So just something I've been thinking about for a while. I was like, maybe I should keep up those, not that any were like super negative, but I didn't quite know what to do with those. But I just decided, like, it's, this is like my house, and I don't need negativity in here for you guys or myself. So if you don't like a reading, just move on. If you don't like my readings, move to different channels. If you like certain things and want to train me to do more of those, that's where you should send encouragement. But anyway, long story short, let me know if you like this, either through a thumbs up or a positive, kind comment. And I hope to see you guys in the future, and definitely subscribe if you're new here and want to be in a channel all about positivity. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading, gaining insight and illumination into a question you've got. And you guys picked this beautiful sort of bright magenta agate slice. And before we jump into the cards, just an intuitive hit when I was meditating on your group and the stone and paying attention to the energy as I shuffled and drew the cards, was like, initially, it's like I felt such positivity and brightness coming off of your stone, but there was like something I couldn't pinpoint. And so I really had to pay attention to what I was feeling in my body as I was working with the cards and focusing on that positivity. And then it sort of hit. It was like, I don't know, and this, you can take this however it resonates with you, whether this is something about your energy right now or more in relation to the question that you posed. Is like, there's something that it's like, fake it till you make it. Like, I want to be positive. I want to feel happy and enthusiastic about life right now. So I'm just going to force that to be there. But what was coming through is that there's something under the surface that you really need to look at that you're avoiding. And yeah, like maybe that positivity is actually an avoidance in this case. But there's something sad or difficult or challenging under the surface that I'm just getting the sense that you're really needing to kind of let down that positive front for a minute in order to be with whatever this is, just to see it. It's not even like, I almost get the feeling that like it's not going to be as big of a deal as you think. And the minute you just allow yourself to see what this is, it will pass. But it's like there's something you just don't want. It's like this avoidance, this resistance, or this, you know, for some of you, you may have even just made yourself even so busy that you don't know that it's like trying to forget it's there, and maybe you have forgotten it's there, but those things always come back to pull us in, you know, force that witnessing. So the sooner you kind of just still yourself is what I'm getting, like you need to still yourself and feel what's actually in you, the sooner this will resolve itself and be fine, and you will actually like come into a more authentic state of like positivity here. I think that's your general energy. I think you are just like very light, positive people in general. And so it's hard for you not to be in that space, maybe, is the thing. So anyway, we are going to now jump into the cards. We're going to look at your tarot cards first. And this is a new deck by Mike Willcox that I am loving, but it's a little untraditional. It's got the major arcana, and then it's got some oracle cards and zodiac cards. So it's a little bit different. We may get cards that aren't typically in a tarot, but we'll see what we get. So the 3 doors in reverse. Libra in reverse. That's interesting because when I was reading about the oracle cards in this deck, this one gave me such Libra vibes. And then the Hierophant, yeah, upright. Yeah, absolutely. There's something you're avoiding. And it is, I think you can tell there's something off balance for you right now, and it's because of this avoidance. But the minute you kind of let go, surrender, get still, and open your heart, the call to action here is heart seeing. So getting out of your mind, getting really still, feeling what's in there, feeling your sensations, feeling your emotions, feeling your body. A lot of times our body has intelligence with its little aches or pains. There's things it's telling us. Or if it's tired or something, just like feel what's in there outside of mind. And this will lead you into dropping into seeing through your heart better. And what it is, there's some kind of choice you're needing to face. And I know that it didn't necessarily say it in the description in this book. I can't remember exactly what the description said, but for me, I'm just getting the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's like choices here. And the longer you avoid looking at some kind of choice in your life, whether it's a really obvious choice you know you have to make and you're putting it off, or whether it's one that you'll see you're needing to make once you get still and kind of feel and look inward. But I think you know something's off because there's something off, feeling off kilter in you. And yeah, that off kilter is trying to help you to see that there's some decisions you're needing to make right now. And you will know the right how you will know when you've found certain decisions you're needing to make is that your heart will communicate things to you about what's good and bad and ugly. And following that sensation of good towards the right path, the right decision, the right opportunity, the right pathway. Yeah, I don't know if it's like tweaking a path you're on, or having to look at opportunities that are presenting themselves a little bit more maturely and deeply, or if it's just, yeah, like certain choices or decisions that are just coming up that, yeah, it's like you're not taking what I'm getting that's coming through is like you're not taking it as seriously as you should, and so you're like acting like things are light, but if you get still and you look deeper at this, the decisions you make right now are actually going to be very, very impactful and very long lasting. And to make the right decisions, you need to be in your heart. So you need to get still, you need to feel the things, and it will give you those sensations, maybe even in colors of like, what color are you resonating with? What color does this choice feel like? And does that feel good? Instead of looking more with your mind and your eyes of how it appears, how does that feel? I don't know why that feels important to say, like you need to feel the options as if they were colors and then distinguish whether you like that color. I don't know. Take that or leave that. That was a weird thing that came through, but at least for some of you that might make some sense. Okay, let's look at your astrology cards. Taurus, second house. So it might be financial or income decisions. Yeah, karma, the south node. Okay. Yeah, there's something from your past that you're not facing, and this may have something to do with how you value yourself, how you're making an income, how material possessions are being handled in some way that you're needing to look at more deeply, more carefully, more thoughtfully, because there's something you need to face here that you're maybe just trying to pretend isn't a big deal, but is much more of a big deal than you're realizing, but you do sense something's off, like something is off kilter, you know that, and it's just like you need to get still to see. And like I think the minute you get still and you feel those things, you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I've been trying to pretend this isn't a big deal, but this is a big deal and I need to deal with it. And it's saying if you can go through this process we've talked about and really take something more seriously, slow down, look inward, get quiet, feel your body, feel your emotions, clarity will come to you. It's not that hard. It's not going to be that big of a deal once you get there, but you do need to slow down to see that it is a big deal that you confront this. But once you get still, it will become very clear and very simple, and you can return to your light, and just feeling sort of rainbowy mode that maybe you enjoy. I don't know, rainbowy felt like something about you guys. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards, Muladhara. So this could have something to do also with your foundations, with how you feel stable and secure in life. It could have something to do with family issues, with your home, with ancestors, genetics. There's something here that if you confront, you do all the things we've talked about, you will find a lot more calm, grounded, centered security kind of come through in your energy. Okay, and then we've got to the sea. I think this is like, this issue is something you've put out to sea, like just not wanting to deal with, and it's like in purgatory out to sea. And truth be told, yeah, there's just truths you're needing to look at. You need to come back to shore, bring something about this question, something about your energy back to shore. There is a beautiful kind of spiritual presence in this card, so something is watching over you, protecting you. You are safe, is what it's saying. But you do need to confront something, some truth that needs to be kind of cleared up, or a truth within you that you need to recognize, that you need to own. And it will clear the air. Look at this. And, this Hanged Man, I always think of it making you drop into your heart, see through your heart. And then this truth be told coming on top of it is like the heart's been cleared. Opening a window, fresh, clear, bright air coming through the heart. So that's what will happen. Clarity coming, heart knowing coming, clearing some air, getting to the heart of a truth or your truth coming through. I really get the sense that even though it's important you confront this, once you do, it will be easy. So just do it. Okay, tea leaves, beryl. You feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. And that's where this imbalance, something off kilter. There's something, lacking. And with the second house resources here, it may have to do with money. And then dark woman, dealing or relationships with a woman with dark complexion or dark hair. If that sounds like you, this could be you, or this could be someone that could be an aid to you, or someone that some truth is needing to be confronted with. If none of that resonates, it could just be that to the seed, it could be that kind of spirit guide. Maybe that presence has dark complexion or dark hair. Okay, I hope this helped you guys, gave you some insight and illumination into whatever you posed here as your question. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. It lets me know what you guys are liking. Definitely trying to, tune into whether this is going well for you guys versus doing those yes/no questions. And then also, if you have positive or kind comments, I also appreciate those as well. And something I'm saying at the end of each pile in this reading, just because this is the juncture where I've made a certain decision. And then even though I won't be saying it again in other readings, I'm just hoping that vibration kind of is set into motion in my channel, is that I would say high 90%, high 90s%, 98% of your comments have always been very, very kind and sweet, and I always am grateful for that and appreciative of it. But every once in a while, I've never had like a really nasty comment, but every once in a while there has been just sort of like a comment that's had a real negative energy to it, like a critique or I didn't like this type of thing, or it didn't work for me or whatever. And I haven't really known what to do with those. They're not very constructive. And so I've sat with that like, okay, well, I don't want to block comments or people, but I sort of came into this decision that my channel is like my house. And just the way I'm going to protect what kind of energy comes into my house and really keeping negativity out of my house, I want to do that for my channel as well. So I'm not trying to like hide things if someone doesn't like something. I'm just trying to keep the energy positive in here. So I will be deleting negative comments. I don't think they're constructive. I don't think they're helpful. And I think that it dampens the vibration for everybody, not just me. So going forward, I will be deleting negative comments. And so just so you know, not that, if you're a regular here, obviously I know you have not been doing that, but I'm just hoping saying this out loud on the channel just puts a new protective barrier in place there. And and just like a little tip from behavioral psychology, if you want animals, people, whatever, to do more of what you like, you do that through positive reinforcement. So when you like what someone's doing, give the thumbs up, give kind comments. It trains them to do more of that. When you leave like a negative something, it just leaves negativity. It's not very constructive unless you do put something constructive. And I'm open to constructive things. If you say this instead of saying like, this didn't answer my question, you could, that doesn't give me any information of why. You could say, this would have answered my question if, and I would have liked if you blah, blah, blah. I am okay with constructive things. That's fine. I love insight. But if you're just saying, this didn't answer my question, that just leaves a bad vibe and it leaves zero constructive insight. So, most of all, I think it's just important to encourage where things are done that you do like, to have more of that than train me to do more of what you like, you know? Okay, anyway, that's where I'm going to leave this. Yeah, and I hope to see you in more readings in the future, and hopefully this was insightful for you guys. All right, see ya. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading with insight and illumination into a question you have. And you guys picked this really beautiful kind of electric blue agate slice. So before we jump into the cards, I just want to talk a little bit about some like intuitive hits I was getting from meditating on your group and connecting to your stone, and how things were feeling as I was sort of shuffling and drawing cards. And I definitely got this sense that like something's a little bit flooded, a little bit like falling apart, and it could be, you can, however this resonates, you can apply it however it resonates, whether this is your general energy right now or whether it's connected to something about your question. But there is this sense of like something flooded, something sort of, yeah, falling apart a little. But just before I hit record, I was sort of seeing through the screen I have with the camera, like this overview of this layout, and something suddenly felt like really beautiful. So I think there is something here in the next days or week or something that you're gonna like everything's gonna suddenly make sense and feel beautiful, but you have to go through something sort of, yeah, in a bit of chaos for the moment. Okay, let's start with your tarot cards up here to see what kind of read is going on with your question, what energies around it. And this is a new tarot deck I just actually got today by Willcox, and it's a little untraditional, but I'm loving it. It's the major arcana, some oracle cards, and zodiac signs. So it's a little different, so we may see things not typically in a tarot deck, but it's a really beautiful deck, yeah. So lens, so that's one of the oracle cards. So is this the cauldron in reverse, and justice, that's beautiful. So yeah, there's a matter of perspective and perception going on here, where in this cauldron card, this has to do with like the energy we put into something. So the energy you're putting into this question may not be the exact energy that is going to create a really positive outcome to things. And there's something that you're needing to perceive in a different way, or push your perspective to like broaden your perspective, maybe see through the shoes of others, or see through the culture of others, or it's just like broadening your perspective, seeing things from different angles, which I think can help your perception of what's going on around this question flip back upright and start putting the right types of thoughts, emotions, decisions, actions into this. But currently what's being put into the cauldron of this question, the energy being input into this, is a little off. but not all is lost. It's like if you can, and I think that, oh, that makes so much sense, because I said with this stone, like right before I pressed record, all of a sudden I got this bigger picture and it felt beautiful. And I feel like that's is like you're seeing too narrowly about this question right now. But if you can broaden your perspective, see it from a different view, see it more holistically, it's like suddenly balance is restored. This cauldron turns upright, and there is justice to be found here. There's good to come from this. There's balance to be established. There's fairness that can prevail, but you need to see things in a different way. So that's something to work on. But you know, it's that thing, if you sort of refuse to change your stance, how you're seeing, how you're perceiving, then everything you're cooking around this question right now is just gonna kind of leak out. You know, it won't lead to a great outcome. But if you can turn it upright, there is balance and fairness to be established, if you can broaden how you're seeing this. Oh, whoops. Yeah, see, everything's so, when I was doing your cards, it felt so chaotic. Okay. Okay, let's do this is interesting. I just got so lost. I usually don't get really lost in readings, but I got so lost. We're going to look at your astrology. I'm not even looking at the astrology cards yet. There's a lot of sensitivity around you right now. You're feeling a lot. Things are flooded. Things are a little flooded. But that's okay. I think you need to feel what's coming through. I think finding some calm spaces would be really helpful for you to recenter yourself in some chaos happening. If you can find a private space just to breathe and calm energy and clear, you know, doing practices that kind of clears the energy of other things, people, whatever, out of you and recalling your energy back. I think that's something you need to kind of reestablish your own energy and find calm in that. And I think that is what is currently preventing you from seeing things very more broadly and wisely right now. Okay, let's look at your ninth house. So that's just what I just said. Ninth house under the lens. I mean, it's the same thing. There's even a lens here. It's like you need to step back and see the bigger picture. You need to calm your energy. You need safe environments to calm energy in you and around you. And then Imam Koli roots. This is like the bottom of an astrology chart where our foundations are. And so this question may pertain to something having to do with home and family, or with your stability in life, your security in life. But I think here with this coming next to Virgo digest, I think there are helpful people in your kind of closest, you know, whether that's your family or soul family or just people you're very close to. I think there are very helpful people around you if you just open your eyes to that. Sometimes they may come across critical, so you may sort of have a little hesitation to either asking for help here or looping someone in your foundations. But at the roots of that Virgo energy is a real desire to be helpful and of service. And I think if you kind of open up to that, there are some very helpful energies around that want to, and Virgo is actually the opposite energy of what I'm feeling here, which is sort of Piscean energy and chaos. Virgo is the opposite sign to that, and it knows how to create systems and rhythms out of chaos. So I think that there's, whether it's spiritual guidance, well, I would say either ancestral spirit realm ancestors or family or soul family around you that really could be helpful to you right now. It really could help establish some rhythm, some taking something off of your plate, helping you digest something. Virgos are very good at digesting, which is the key word on this card, digesting. You may need to process something. Yeah, I think there's someone you feel close to, but that Virgos can be a little reserved, yet they may come off reserved and you may hesitate reaching out to them, but they're like a key to helping you process this, which will then lead you to being able to see things a little bit more broadly. Yeah, okay. Let's look at your oracle cards. Ether, I don't do this one in reverse. Yeah, that Piscean energy that I have been feeling that can sometimes get a little flooded or chaotic. Also, the flip side of that is it's living in sort of the incubation territory where old things are kind of falling apart, but a new thing is incubating within that. And I do connect sort of ether energy in that realm of possibility. So there is something new that is incubating here, but you're needing to like really put positive things in at this time, input towards something about your question at this time to help that incubation be positive and be something that will birth into your life. Okay, let's look at your other oracle cards. Community, yeah, I do think there's some very tight-knit community that's really key to something here. Processing, helping, taking, some load off or helping you to get organized. And then the last card we've got poised. Yeah, I think this is what you want to feel. I think you want to feel recentered, like poised, recentered, balanced. And it's possible. There's just some things you need to do to help flip the cauldron upright, process, see the bigger picture, broaden how you're perceiving something and your perspective on something. Doing all of that work, putting in those types of efforts will repoise you, will bring you your poise again. And it will feel like this. It's really, she feels very free and positive and happy. Okay, you got 3 tea leaves. All right. Great worry over nothing. Yeah, that flooded, sensitive energy I was feeling, oftentimes it comes on quickly and it floods us, and then once it's gone, it just clears the way. And so it can feel like much bigger of a deal when that flooding comes than it is, but it usually leaves you with a lot of things healed and a lot more understanding and comprehension of certain things. And so I see this great worry over nothing, and this is a sea animal, which, I connect to that Pisces flooding oceanic kind of feeling anyways. Like you do have great depth, in the whale and this roots there, you have strong depths, you have strong soul family, something here. It's like, don't worry, the roots of your life will weather this just fine. There's nothing to worry about there. Then bell, announcement, that's interesting. So, and then diamond, You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Yeah, I think that whatever the sensitivity and the flooding that's being felt around this is just like clearing certain things out in order for like a new, fresh balance, poise, perspective, possibility to come through. Gorgeous. I love this. Beautiful reading. I know right now it may not feel like that for how you might be feeling at this moment around this question, but I think for the majority of you, the things we've talked about, I don't think will be, difficult for you to tap into, and may just sort of naturally kind of be part of the process that unfolds anyway, without having to even like effort around that. And I do think just like a lot of whatever you're worried about and feeling flooded about right now in relation to this question or in relation to your general energy is making way for, something precious and more poise. So just trust that. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate a little thumbs up. It lets me know what is connecting, what you guys are liking. And I also appreciate kind and thoughtful comments. And I will just give this new disclaimer that I've been giving at the end of each pile in this reading. I probably just should have done it in the intro, but for whatever reason, it's coming out at the end of each pile, and I'm only saying this in this reading. I just wanted to say it somewhere out loud on my channel to help kind of that vibration unfold within my channel. That I would say 98% of the comments that come in have usually been very kind and sweet. But every once in a while, I've never had a real nasty comment, but every once in a while there's been one that's just like a little bit negative. And that isn't constructive either. Just something like, this didn't answer my question. And I've sat for a long time on what to do with those, and sometimes I've deleted them, sometimes I've kept them, and it's just sort of like hit me in the past couple days where I'm like, my YouTube channel is like my house, and I don't tend to invite negative people and energies into my house, and I feel like it should be the same way in my channel. So I will be deleting negative comments. I don't find them constructive, and I think it lowers the vibration for everybody. And and just like a little thing from behavioral psychology is like, if you want people to do more of what you like, you can train them to do that by positive reinforcement. So in a YouTube channel, leaving a thumbs up or a kind comment, if you're really liking something someone's done, that trains them to do more of that. I'm okay with constructive criticism. I have nothing wrong with that. If you say, this didn't answer my question, but maybe if you had included an archetype card, or I don't know, something that feels sort of universally like a constructive thought or a helpful thought, I'm fine with that. I love constructive feedback, but if you're just saying I didn't like this or this didn't answer anything, that doesn't give me anything. There's nothing I can do with that other than feel negative, and the channel or the reading then having another negative layer on it. So long story short, just wanting to say it out loud somewhere on my channel to kind of put that vibration into my channel, that negative comments, definitely if they're nasty, which I've never had, so I don't expect to get those, but if there's like a negative comment that has no constructive feedback, I will be deleting it. So anyway, that said, I hope this reading was helpful, was insightful, and I hope to see you in more readings going forward. All right, see you guys.